Hey, what's going on, my people? It is I, your mad hatter behind the microphone, the villain with the vocabulary, the consigliere of everything controversial, 337, born and raised, 910, adopted, Houston, Texas, living. You're now behind the mic from the best from east to west. You are talking with J-E-S-S, Jess. Now, before we go any further, go ahead, click that like button, click that share button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. That way you're up to date on all my latest content that I'll be uploading, and also the machine like it when I says it that way. All right, so let's jump right into it. Now, in 1984, superstar rock group Van Halen released a song called Hot for Teacher. Video was about kids inside of a classroom, and then all of a sudden the bell rings and somebody has a daydream and the teacher's a hot-ass stripper. And, it basically teaches the fantasy that a lot of young men were hot for a teacher at some point in time in their life. There's always that one hot teacher. And the story you're going to hear today takes the cake. Now, we've been here before. We've been here several times, as a matter of fact. But this has a strange twist to it, okay? I'm going to let them tell the story for you.
Admits to having sex with a 13-year-old boy and then becoming pregnant with his child won't face any jail time under a plea deal with prosecutors.
11 call for action. Investigative reporter Matt Kroschel is joining us live tonight. Matt, 31-year-old Andrea Serrano was facing sexual assault charges, but accepted this new plea deal to stay out of prison.
Adam, Serrano gave birth to a baby boy. She admitted to having sex with that 13-year-old. The victim's mother, who we're not going to identify in this story, tells us she is not happy with this deal offered to a woman she says ruined her son's life.
I feel like my son's robbed of his childhood. Now he's having to be a father. He's a victim, and he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life.
This mother says watching her son struggle with the reality he now faces breaks her heart. What has this been like for your son?
It's caused him a lot of depression. He's shut down a lot.
Now she questions why this woman won't face prison time.
I feel like if she was a man and he was a little girl, it would definitely be different. They would be seeking incarceration. And I feel like because she's a woman, they're not. They're having compassion for her because she was pregnant. But I don't think they take into play, again, she was pregnant by a child. That child was created from a sexual abuse.
Under terms of the plea deal the suspect signed off on, she'll be required to register as a sex offender, and the judge could sentence her to 10 years to life of sex offender intensive supervised probation. But Serrano will avoid any jail time since the DA's office dropped the original charges to a lesser charge that does not come with mandatory jail time. What should other parents be looking for them?
Don't trust anybody, honestly. I mean, you can't trust anybody now.
No jail time. She took a plea deal. I want to know who her lawyer was, because he or she is damn good. I'm going to come right out and say it. Maybe Kels should have had that lawyer. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. Does it make you feel uncomfortable? Because we all feel as though that Kelly should be locked up. He's gotten the punishment he deserves. He's earned. So why is she sliding? Let's call it what it is. She graped a 13-year-old. Some people in this comment section will say you can't grape a male. If he caught an erection, that means he was complicit. That is a physical and physiological reaction. At 13 years old, any female could have blew in his ear, and he probably would have reacted the same way. And they never said what her occupation was, but obviously somebody close to him that she was comfortable, the mother was comfortable enough leaving him alone with. No jail time. I've made several videos saying, mothers, fathers, protect your sons, because obviously the justice system does not care. Could you imagine if that had been a 31-year-old man that impregnated a 13-year-old girl? People will be outraged, as they should. If we can go back 300 years ago when Bill Cosby was walking around with a kerosene lamp on a chariot, taking advantage of women, we can do it today. We can prosecute her today. If we can go back 300 years ago and prosecute Bill Cosby, we can prosecute her today to the fullest extent of the law. And what new deal is there out there to where you can get away with something like this? I'm curious to know. And that was in El Paso County, so guarantee I'm going to be looking into this. What judge allowed that on his docket and said, yeah, you know what? Maybe she didn't mean to do this. Maybe this is a mistake. No jail time. He's got to register for 10 years to life as a sex offender. I guarantee you this, mark my words, that mental health is going to come into play. And I can almost bet the house that she is going to say something was done to her younger by a man to make sure that she feels that that's what she did was okay. I can assure you she's going to push off the accountability and responsibility of that. She may have admitted to it, but she's going to give some cockamamie reason as to why it happened. Guaranteed. I mean, you literally now have to watch your children wherever they go. This is not like it was back in the day. And even back then, it was possibly still pretty dangerous to have sleepovers. Hey, it's the summertime. I'm going to go over some Bud's house. We're going to play video games all night, drink Surge, eat pizza, and have fun and wake up the next morning and go out to play at the park, go to the swimming pool. But you can't do that nowadays, I would assume. 13 years old, and he's a father already. Some people are in their mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, and are not ready to be parents. So imagine what that 13-year-old is going through in his mind. His mind is not even fully developed yet. He's getting ready to go into the 8th grade? Could you imagine? Oh, what'd you do this summer? I play baseball. What'd you do this summer? I rode bikes. What'd you do this summer? Oh, the older neighbor. Come on. The same outrage you all would have if the roles were reversed needs to be the same outrage you have now for this young man. The mother obviously feels taken aback as to what happened. She obviously is embarrassed, ashamed, probably full of rage that the court system just dismissed this as a one-off and the perpetrator won't face any jail time. And I would also want to know, where is this young man's father? I'm questioning, has this happened before? And just that there's no evidence of it. There was no pregnancy behind it because she had the baby and is allowed to keep the baby as a sex offender. I'm not even sure if that's possible. Can you keep your child if you are a registered sex offender? Somebody let me know in the comment section. Is this, and I've said this before on different platforms, is this a prime example of privilege? Is this a prime example of privilege? Can we say in this instance, the system works in the favor of women? Because we all know what would happen if the roles were reversed. How is she facing no jail time at 31 years old? Does she still get to keep her job because she has the baby and she has to provide for the baby? Now, obviously, at 13, he can't go out and get a legit job. I mean, yeah, he can probably mow lawns during the summer, but ultimately, the financial responsibility is going to fall back on the parents of this kid. At 13 years old, let me not say the life is ruined, because there are plenty of people who were teenage parents and still made it up to be very successful. However, and she kept the baby. However, experience played a factor in this as to where she most likely took a choice away from him. I'm not even sure if this is this young man's first time, engaging in intimacy. But if you're going to call it down the middle, if you're going to be fair, if you're going to be equal, he's a victim. But it seems as though that no one takes the victimization of men, males, little boys seriously. You guys let me know in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Use that hashtag TalkingWithJess. And until next time, take care of yourself. Excellence over excuses. And I'm out.